This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, July the 23rd. Race number 9 at Saratoga. Graded stakes action. It's a good edition of the Grade 3 Lake George for 3-year-old fillies. Before we get to the analysis, remember, get the DRF Bets app because there's a great opportunity going on the app. Double your payout on Rat Ortiz winners at Saratoga exclusively on the DRF Bets app. 3-time defending Eclipse Award winning jockey. Let's take a look at the field for the Lake George. Irad's on the 6. Amy C, 9-2 on the morning line. Mike, 1 of 4 in here for Chad Brown going a mile on the inner turf.
Yeah, Chad Brown doing what he does best, not only train turf horses and stakes races, Dan, but sort of trying to overwhelm you with numbers. I think all 4 of his horses have a chance in here.
I agree 100%, but I also think this is just a very competitive group, and it appears that our colleague and Naira morning line maker, David Aragona, agrees. He made the 5 Jouster, a speedball for Todd Pletcher, the 7-2 morning line favorite, tepid favorite. You could make a case for 2-3 horses to be the chalk in here.
I agree. It's a tough race. I think a lot of different horses can win. What you like about Jouster, I guess, Dan, is in a race like this where trips could make all the difference. She's speed. She's going to be on the early lead in here. Cutting back to a mile is supposed to help her.
Good segue to the Timeform US pace projector. Timeform US believes the pace will be on the faster side. Jouster has speed. Navratilova went gate to wire last time out, but certainly didn't go as fast as Jouster had in some of her races. I'm not sure how fast they're going to go, but I think the pace should at least be solid.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe I'll disagree maybe a little bit with the fast pace projection for this race. I think they might have the order right, though. I mean, I think Jouster's going to go. Navratilova, I doubt she's going to go up and duel with Jouster early, but I think she'll try to get forward.
And the number 1 demo dog likely can work out the trip. The Timeform US is projecting a perfect 2 for 2 in her career. The daughter of American Pharaoh went gate to wire in her debut at a big price. And then in her second lifetime start, sat off of a faster pace, attacked outside and got it done. Beat 2 minor next out winners. Listen, this horse has a lot of upside potential. Is just taking a big step up in class.
Agreed. I don't have any knocks on this horse. I thought she's, run pretty well in each of her first 2 starts. I thought she got great trips both times. So maybe she took advantage a little bit, didn't take any pressure on the lead in her career debut there after, a little bit hard to settle, I thought, but she got loose and nobody challenged her. She held on. Another perfect trip last time, but she ran through the stretch. This horse could be okay.
She's a perfect 2 for 2. The 2 Runaway Rumor is a New York bred that is 3 for 3, and she beat Open Foes in the Wild Applause, the race we're going to take a look at right now. This going a mile at Belmont Park. Runaway Rumor needs a little bit of pace up front. She likes to come from way out of it, but she kicks strongly. We see her on the outside here, and she just rolls these horses down. Good effort.
Every one of her races sort of look like this, Dan. She's a real big finisher. She is not overmatched at all as she steps up in class again as an undefeated horse. She just really runs through the stretch, under pretty strong handling here to beat this field. Same thing, 2 back. Won that race a lot easier than the neck margin would suggest. This horse is good.
The first of the 4 Chad Brown train runners we're going to discuss is the number 3 Fluffy Socks. This one attracts Joel Rosario and was a graded stakes winner at Del Mar last year at 2. I think she's running into form now in her 3rd start of the form cycle. I thought her Memories of Silver was an okay performance. She was kind of last on the rail, had to alter course to the far outside, and she came with a good run to just miss by a head. And then last time out in the Wonder again, while she did save some ground for most of the way, that pace just wasn't very fast. And the winner of that race is pretty good, Cone Lima.
I mean, it's a good field to Wonder again. I mean, I guess you could just argue in some ways that this is a good field too, but that one was probably better with Cone Lima coming back to run well again in the Belmont Oaks. The 2nd and 3rd finishers of that race are both, I think, really good horses. This horse ran fine last time. I liked her Memories of Silver. I thought that was a good place to start. She didn't do anything last time to make me want to bet her back in this race, Dan, but I won't be surprised if she runs well.
I wonder if cutting back to a mile is going to be a good thing. I think it is for this horse. Maybe a mile and an eighth, a little bit too far last time out. Invincible Gal, like Fluffy Stocks, will be making the 3rd start off the form cycle after a slight regression in the Tepin last time out, although that was a race where Navratilova controlled things up front. And Invincible Gal, she had a lot of work to do and just couldn't make up any ground. Now, she might have been pace compromised, but I don't think she particularly ran very well.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way you do. I mean, I like this field a little bit. I think she's okay. If you wanted to argue to me that she was too far away last time, the pace wasn't that fast, and she really had no chance, you'll get no argument from me. I just wonder if she's good enough to beat this field.
Jouster going out for Todd Pletcher is your 7-2 morning line favorite, and she's a very likable filly because she has the speed to put herself right into the mix, as she did in the Appalachian 2 starts back at Keeneland, just going right to the front, backing down the pace, and sprinting on home. She tried those tactics in the Wonder again, and again, those horses might be a little bit better, and the distance might be a little far.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to look at it and just say she ran fine last time. I think the distance just sort of did her in, especially when you go back and watch the replay, Dan. I mean, down past the 8th pole, she was still clear in that race and looking really, really tough. And she just, didn't really finish that race off. I'm going to say the distance got to her. Cutting back to a mile is supposed to really work for her, and she's a good horse.
But there's a possibility she might have to go faster. Just look at those splits last time out. Louis Saez gave her a great ride, just backing it down to 3/4 and 15 and change. It'll be interesting to see how much pressure they put on her early. Amy C, I think, is pretty good for Chad. Let's watch her North American debut. And now there's the one other than there wasn't a lot of pace going on. They went 25 seconds for the first quarter. Amy C was far back in last, and she just comes on the outside and inhales them. A solid effort, and perhaps flattered a bit when the third finisher came back to win up here at the Spa with an 81.
Yeah, she did run well in this race. Took her back to last. Wins with relative ease. I mean, it's not the greatest performance you're ever going to see, but this wasn't a bad field at all. I mean, she closed them down pretty easily. I don't know what to do with her now, Dan. I really didn't like her at all last time and couldn't understand why she was 4-5. I was obviously wrong about that. She doesn't need to be that far off if you go back and look at her races in France where she was showing speed and racing right up with the pace. So maybe she gets another good trip and wins again.
All three of Toby's Hart's victories have come going 5.5 furlongs, which makes you wonder if the mile is a little bit far, although I don't think we learned much from the Tepin last time out. It was a slow pace. She geared up with this mid-race move with a strong 3-wide rally on the turn, and then I think she understandably flattened out. She might get a better pace setup, and she ran very well here last year on an extremely precocious 2-year-old filly.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I don't know that I necessarily want her as a 2-turn distance kind of horse right now, but she certainly has the ability. If they go fast in front of her, I mean, I'll expect her to make her presence felt in the stretch. I couldn't talk myself into her.
Technical Analysis won her seasonal debut back at Belmont, where she was able to save ground in behind the lead, and then she bowled her way out, turning into the stretch, and came with a good finish to win. It was really a nice seasonal debut, and I think fans should go back and watch the Wonder again on Formulator with the replay, because there was no pace. Jouster walked on the lead, and this horse was just wide chasing, and she really didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I really think the trip worked against her in a big way last time. I mean, I suppose you could just say that Mile and 1/8 did too, although I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to stretch her out one more time at least, just to see what happens. She was just hung out wide every step of the way last time. I didn't think she ran poorly at all. I loved her prior 3 races. I think she showed a ton of ability and big acceleration in the stretch. I think this is a very dangerous horse in here.
I like the heart and determination that number 9 Navratilova showed in winning the Tepin at Churchill Downs over this distance last time out. I wonder how much of it had to do to a great ride from Brian Hernandez, who realized this filly was stretching out 3 furlongs, got her right on the lead, and he had to be a little bit surprised that they were able to go 49 or almost 49 seconds to the half. She sprinted on home. That being said, she's one from off the pace. She's very competitive from a buyer's speed figure standpoint. She's bound to be a price yet again.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, I get if you don't want to take her back off the Tepin just because she didn't have to go fast and sort of got control. I don't know. I still thought she ran well there. She was dead game through the stretch when New Boss brought a pretty strong challenge to her. And prior to that, I know that they were mostly sprints. I liked all of her races leading up to that Tepin. I think she showed some talent from the start. She's bred to be at least this good. Her dam won this race as a 3-year-old before winning a grade 1 race for these connections. I don't know. I think this horse is pretty good, Dan. I'm not against her at all in here.
Manon was a Group 3 winner in Ireland as a 2-year-old. This will be her 3rd start for Chad Brown. She won her North American debut sprinting, and she ran just fine when second in the race we saw earlier with Runaway Rumor. She's going to have to work on a trip from this outside post, but if the pace projector is right, I wouldn't be surprised if she's able to tuck in and save at least a little bit of ground from mid-pack.
Yeah, probably have to do that and see if she can get a trip. I actually think this filly's pretty good, Dan, and I didn't want to discount her. I really liked her seasonal debut. I know it was sprinting, but she looked good winning that race. In the Wild Applause, I don't think she was beating Runaway Rumor, but there was a point in the stretch where she didn't quite get clear, probably when she needed to, when she wound up finishing second. This horse is pretty good. At the right price, I'll throw her in.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 3 Lake George Stakes. Technical analysis, I think the price is going to be right because the last running line, it doesn't look good. But again, watch that replay on Formulator. There were extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, I think she deserves a pass for that one. I don't mind her cutting back to the mile in here at all because she's a pretty tactical horse, and I love her prior to Wednesday. I like this horse again.
Navratilova is going to have to probably work out a more strenuous trip than last time out, but Mike mentioned all of the benefits at a price. You've got that nice pedigree. She's run some good races other than that good trip Tepin victory. I'm going to give a chance to her. It's wide open, as you see by our selections. 9, 1, 6, and 7 for me, 8, 5, 9, and 2 for Mike for a really competitive edition of the Grade 3 Lake George. It is your Friday DRF Race of the Day. Download those free PPs on the Race of the Day event page.